All right, welcome back. Hey everyone. These are the updates that we're going to go over for this month's changelog Shopify update video. We're going to start our slow scroll as we do every month on this channel of Shopify entrepreneurs and fellow Shopify e-commerce entrepreneurs. These are the updates that we're going to be going over. Happy April, everyone. This is an interesting month because there are a bunch of topics here, as you can see, but a bunch of topics that aren't covered very commonly. And so I'm very excited to jump into this month's update. We have some admin stuff, some checkout stuff, some POS stuff, and a very interesting new AI feature to come. So very important month. So let's get started. As we get to the very bottom here, we have our first update here on March the 3rd. It says Shop is now available in French, German, and Spanish. Shop app and Shop web are available in French, German, and Spanish. This is a relatively straightforward update, and it's for merchants that are selling in French or in German or in Spanish. Specifically for the Shop channel, the Shop marketplace. It just says that Shop buyers globally can view and purchase products from their favorite merchants in French, German, and Spanish on the Shop channel. So if you don't know already, the Shop channel, the Shop marketplace is Shopify's marketplace. It looks like Amazon, it looks like Etsy, except every merchant on the Shop marketplace is a Shopify store and a Shopify merchant. So the update is just saying that the Shop marketplace is now available in these 3 languages. Millions of Shopify merchants would be selling in these 3 languages. So it's a big update. But if you're not aware of this Shop marketplace, it's a very straightforward sales channel that you can install in your store and you can apply to on your store. There are some requirements to be listed on the Shop marketplace as it is its own sales channel separate from your online store, but a very important way to get more eyes, more sessions, more conversions at the end of the day on your website is to expand and explore different sales channels. And if you're only using your online website as a beginner Shopify entrepreneur and you're looking for more sessions, more eyes on your product, definitely look into the Shop marketplace as your next stepping stone. Another new, as we like seeing these yellow tabs here, another new update and really big update. 2 really big updates to start the month actually. March 3rd, Shopify Payments is now available in Mexico. Merchants in Mexico can now use Shopify Payments to accept payments and receive payouts. So it says merchants in Mexico can now use Shopify Payments to accept payments via major credit cards in multiple currencies and receive payouts in the local bank accounts for Mexican merchants. It's a big deal because Shopify Payments, of course, is Shopify's in-house payment gateway, but it's only available in specific countries as it's a financial product, probably very complex financial agreements and legal agreements in each specific country that it's in. It's expanding to more and more countries. As we can see, it's now available in Mexico, but this is the first time I've seen that Shopify Payments is actually expanding to a new country in a few years. You know, we know it's available in the United States, and we know it's in Canada, we know it's in Australia, and we know it's in Great Britain, and we know it's available in a lot of countries in Europe. But if you are using Shopify and you are simply located in a country where it's not offered, you have to use a third-party payment gateway and then set up a third-party payment gateway and then connect that to your Shopify store, which isn't too difficult because there are thousands of payment gateways, but it does add an additional third-party gateway fee when you make a transaction. There are the fees associated with the transaction from the payment gateway, but to connect it, this connection process adds another fee from Shopify, just another % or 2, but everything adds up. So now, good news for merchants in Mexico. This is a very big update for, I'm sure, millions of businesses. Merchants now in Mexico can just use Shopify Payments, Shopify's in-house payment gateway. They can get rid of that fee. And if you are on Shopify Payments, it also enables you for a lot more Shopify products. It's not just about the gateway. So that's actually huge, huge news. March 4th, we have an update here that says disable gift card conditionally in checkout blocks, but this is only for Shopify Plus merchants. So we're just going to move on from that. March 4th, partial market management on managed markets. It's now possible to selectively enable managed markets on a subset of international markets. Ooh, not much detail on all the updates so far, just a couple sentences, but that's fine. Partial market management on managed markets. During and after managed market activation, it's now possible to decide which international markets are managed or not. This can be used, among others, to progressively roll out managed markets. So the key term here is managed markets. Managed markets. Managed markets got rebranded, renamed something else in last edition's rollout. They changed just the name of it from Managed Markets to Markets Pro. So if you've been to Shopify for a long time like I have, and you're familiar with the term Markets Pro, that's what Managed Markets it got rebranded. So now this is saying it's now possible to decide which international markets are managed or not during and after Managed Markets activation, because Managed Markets is a level above markets. So everybody Shopify store has markets in their market settings. And then one level above this is called this thing called Markets Pro, which got renamed Managed Markets. And Managed Markets is just a way to simplify international commerce, international selling, because with more and more markets, there's more and more taxes, more and more duties in today's day and age, a lot more tariffs and these sort of things. So to make that a lot more simpler, Shopify has this product called Managed Markets, where they use something called a merchant of record, and a small percentage is taken from each order that you make. But the merchant of record via Managed Markets consolidates a lot of this international markets complexity for a fee. And now this update is just saying during and after Managed Markets activation, it's now possible to decide which international markets are managed or not, meaning which markets you want to use Managed Markets on and which markets you want to just use normal markets on. And specifically, again, during and after Managed Market activation, because you have to activate it. Okay, now we have a huge update here. Brand new AI tool rollout. This is a big deal. I'll probably do a whole video just on this, as AI tools are very exciting. But here we go. So it says on March 5th, an AI store setup tool. Our new AI store setup tool creates custom designed themes for your business with just a simple description, making your website launch ready in no time. Again, just another short description here where it says this will help new business owners overcome the daunting challenge of designing an online store, a common barrier that delays their path to making sales. With just a simple description of your business or products, the AI store generator will enable entrepreneurs to generate custom themes for their brand, allowing them to get their online store up and running quickly. It's now available to all merchants on the basic plan and up. So the basic plan and up means not on the starter plan, but every other plan above that. And it says it's now available to all merchants. So this means it looks like it was on a trial of specific merchants only, or only found in some regions or some countries. And now it says it's now available to all merchants, and you can find it in your Shopify admin. This is very interesting, but for me, themes are a little bit more complex than just telling the AI to make this store for you. Because as we know, in Shopify entrepreneurs, there's free themes and there's paid themes. There's Shopify themes and there's third-party themes. There's third-party theme developers, there's Shopify developers, and then there's theme support. There's all kinds of decisions you have to make when you're choosing your theme. So if the AI store setup tool creates a sort of theme for you, is that a free theme? Is that a paid theme? Is that a third-party theme? And what kind of theme license do you have? Because if you use a free theme or you use a third-party theme, that creates a theme license for that store. And then if you want to even change or transfer that free or paid theme to another store, maybe you close this store down and you open up a new store, but you want to use the same paid theme that you used in the last one, you can do that. But can you do that with this new AI store setup tool? So it's interesting that it says AI store setup tool, and it stops short of actually mentioning a theme in this whole 2 paragraphs. This will help new business owners overcome the daunting challenge of designing an online store. So does that mean you pick a theme and then you use the AI store setup tool? I'm not too sure, but I am definitely going to explore this in depth. So if you're into Shopify and you're into Shopify AI tools, hit subscribe, and we'll look into that very, very soon. Huge update. We have an interesting improvement here on March 5th when it comes to Shopify forms and talking about meta fields. It says when merchants edit custom meta fields they have created, all validations will update on any forms using the meta field. So this is basically saying that when you make Shopify forms, when you're using the Shopify Forms app, the Shopify Forms app is an app that pops up a little pop-up on your website for you to collect information like an email address and stuff like that. But when you're using Shopify Forms, you can create your own meta fields to collect specific information in a lot of different ways. Say you want to collect the customer's email address because you want to give them a 10% discount on their birthday. So you also have to collect their birthday and they have to input it here. This would be a custom-made meta field. This isn't new, but what's updating here is that if you update any of the meta fields, the Shopify Forms will update with the new options. So just a small improvement there. March 6th, we've made a change in the search settings. So it says there is now a search option in the Shopify settings specifically. So we've made managing settings easier by adding dedicated search within the Shopify settings. So the Shopify settings is when you're in your admin, that little gear on the bottom left, the gear icon that says settings, that's what it's talking about. So apparently there is a new dedicated search for those settings specifically, just a small improvement there. We have a new update here when it comes to the Flow app. We love seeing these new tags all the time on the Shopify changelog. However, this one is just a new addition to the Shopify Flow app. It says new actions to get data about gift cards, locations, and cash tracking sessions. Flow now has more actions to fetch data about gift cards, locations, and cash tracking sessions from your Shopify store for use in workflows that you can create. If we click in here, longer description, but all it's saying is there is a new get data action for if you are creating flows within the Shopify Flow app. Not very beginner friendly, not something you need to worry about if you are a brand new Shopify beginner, but basically it's just saying when you're creating flows, there is an action called get data, and then you can set up a flow to get certain things. In this update specifically, it's talking about getting gift card data. It says your store has both gift card products, which are used to generate gift cards, and gift cards themselves, which are the actual gift cards that the customer can use to make purchases. To get information about gift card products, use the get product data or get product variant data action. Same thing with location, get location data. Action retrieves location information from your Shopify store. Locations are any place that you store inventory, sell products, or ship or fulfill orders. And then get tracking session data. Action retrieves cash tracking session information from your POS Pro. So it's only for POS Pro. So you'd have to have a POS location. You'd have to have a POS Pro location. And then you'd also have to be using Flow. You can use the get tracking session data action for that. Very, very niche, probably not very heavily used update. Although I did get excited when I saw this little yellow tag here. But moving on. Little improvement for POS. Haven't seen that many POS updates in the last few changelogs. So we have a couple here and then at the top as well. It says discounts work with draft orders on the POS. Apply and save all admin. Create discounts to draft orders in Shopify POS. So of course the POS is talking about your in-person point of sale, point of service device, and draft orders are the orders that you can create for a customer. And the update just says now you can apply and save all discounts that you create in the admin to draft orders in the Shopify POS, including this bunch here. It says previously draft orders in POS only supported custom manual discounts. So there's a lot of features that are always found on the admin. And as Shopify works to improve the POS and the POS Pro, a lot of actions that are found on the admin improve all the way down to POS Pro, but they aren't super new features. They're just improvements to the POS systems. This update here on March 13th is talking about JavaScript, is talking about APIs, is talking a bunch of things like that. More developer stuff, is talking about checkout API. So we don't really need to worry about that for beginner Shopify entrepreneurs. Here's an interesting update that made me stop and think for a second. It says Smart Collection includes subcategories in category conditions is now live. You can now include products from a category and its subcategories when creating smart collections by simply checking a box when creating or editing your collection condition. So what the heck is a smart collection? I thought I missed something and I thought I didn't know something for a second. A smart collection is an automated collection. I guess they changed the name. When you're creating collections in Shopify, there's a manual collection and there's automatic collections. And these automatic collections apparently go by the name Smart Collection. Okay, so fancy. So I was like, what is a smart collection for a second? But that's okay. So your smart automatic collections include subcategories. We've added subcategories, inclusion options to product smart collection filters, which are just automatic collections, because managing large catalogs requires more flexible categorization tools. Now merchants can select a parent category like clothing tops and automatically include all products from the subcategories such as shirts, cardigans, and bodysuits without creating multiple filter conditions. Because when you're making a smart collection, which is called an automatic collection in basic terms, you set these filters and you set these rules and these conditions. So all that it's saying is now that there are two different kinds of categories for these conditions. There are subcategories like shirts, cardigans, and bodysuits, but then there's a parent category, which could just be clothing tops, for example, and that helps with very large categorization of very large catalogs. And we know that if you're running like a clothing brand, you have very large catalog of products. So this would help a lot of people. And March 18th, we have a small improvement again to the Flow app. Every single month on the Shopify changelog, we see new adds to the Flow app. We see new improvements to the Flow app, which just aren't that groundbreaking. They're not super important to a lot of people because making your own automations with the Flow app just isn't that popular. But as they try to make the Flow app more and more popular, they're always adding and improving things to it. So this one just says improved experience for actions that update and remove meta fields. The actions to update and remove meta fields in Flow now offer an improved experience for finding or creating meta fields. Nothing too juicy there, to be honest. We'll move along. Same thing with Collective. We always see Collective and we always see Flow updates and improvements every single month. But again, nothing too juicy here. March 18th, Collective retailers can now search for suppliers. Retailers can now search for suppliers by name using the Collective Discovery tool. This is actually a larger improvement to the Collective. Collective is a way that any Shopify store can be a supplier or a retailer for another Shopify store. And the retailers can now search for suppliers to easily find and connect with suppliers using Collective's enhanced discovery feature, which allows them to search by name and access key supplier details like social media links, product offerings, and contact information much more easily. Lots of tiny little updates and small improvements, but actually they're sort of important. They're kind of all coming together here to be one giant update. It says on March 18th, there's a sign-in option with Shop on the customer login page. It's kind of cool. To help accelerate customer logins, the sign-in with Shop button will now be visible from the customer login page. Nothing really more to it. The sign-in with Shop button will be added to the customer account login page for stores that use Shop Pay. This update will make the login process for your customers faster, improving their shopping experience and accelerating checkout. This is really interesting to me because last month or the month before that, Shopify made an announcement that the customer account section is deprecating the legacy customer accounts. So, if you go to your settings and you have cut the customer accounts toggle switch in your settings to show the login button or not show the login button in your header in your online store, then just under that setting, there is legacy, something called legacy accounts, and then something called new customer accounts. And there's slight improvements to the differences between these two, but the legacy customer accounts is actually being deprecated. And they didn't really say why. They just said for further platform enhancements. And as we can see here, maybe 1 or 2 months later, one of those enhancements is the sign in with Shop on the customer login page. So one of the big differences between the new customer accounts and the legacy customer accounts was that with the new customer accounts, you didn't really need a password. You just a customer would just sign in with their email and then a PIN would be sent to their email address. And that's how they would log into their account for your store, as opposed to legacy, which would need a email and it would need a password, and no one can ever remember these passwords, or they're using apps to remember these passwords for them and all these things. So why not just use the email and then the PIN goes straight to the email address, and then you could just use that PIN in instead of getting a PIN to reset the password that you forgot. That was one of the main differences between new customer accounts and legacy customer accounts. But now one significant improvement I think that's being added to the new customer accounts is the sign in with Shop button on customer login page. Of course, you need to be using Shop Pay, and Shop Pay is only found in Shopify Payments. So for our Mexican merchants that are found in Mexico who now have access to Shopify Payments, it expands all their product offerings, as we can see in this example here. Small update, but lots to keep in mind there. All right, March 20th, improved user experience for order editing. We've improved the user experience for order editing. The page is easier to use and design more closely matches other pages in the admin. That's all it says. We've improved the user experience for order editing. Quantities and discounts are easier to change, and the design more closely matches other pages in the admin, such as drafts or order details. This should lead to a more efficient experience when editing orders. So this is just talking about when an order comes in, or you're making an order like a draft order, editing that order, say before fulfillment. Say a customer sends you a note, hey, can you change this or add this? When you click on the order, there are more action buttons right at the top. If you select the drop down, one of the buttons, depending on where it is in the fulfillment process, says edit. And that's what it's talking about there. March 20th, Blogs move to the content section in the admin. Blogs move to the content section in the admin. Oh my gosh. We've moved the blog section from the online store app to the content section of the admin. I think Shopify heard me. We've moved the blog section from the online store app to the content section of the app. This change makes it easier to manage all your content in one space. Now you can access your blogs, your meta objects, and files and menus, Shopify. Don't forget menus within the content section. This is a really interesting update. And it frustrates me, but it doesn't really frustrate me. So what happened here is blogs moved to the content section of the admin. That's what happened. But actually what happened here is 2 months ago, the menu setting, the menu, how you create your headers and your footers, the menu moved to content as well. Moved from online store up to the content, in the Shopify admin. And there was no announcement about it. And everyone was freaking out about it, thinking that the admin was broken and what the heck is going on now? I got to do stuff and now it's gone. There was no announcement about it. And I made a video about it because where the heck did it go? And it was a very popular video because all of us were having the same issue and there was no announcement. So a few weeks ago, Shopify did the same thing. They moved the blogs menu up to the content menu. And I made another video about that because I didn't see an announcement at the time. Now we see that Shopify actually made an announcement because I think there was a big hoopla about moving the menu to the content menu without an announcement. And so now that they moved blogs up to content, they're making a formal announcement. Thank goodness. Why they're doing all this, I don't know why. We'll see what happens. It just says to make it easier to manage all your content in one place. Instead of it being like 2 menus down in the online store sales channel, it's in the content menu. We'll see, is that easier? Is it not easier? I don't know. It's a significant change. March 22nd, we're almost at the end here, guys. Hope you're enjoying the updates so far. Mandatory checkpoint challenge for bot protection schedules. Checkpoint challenge are now mandatory on all schedules. This is an interesting one. We're not really going to get into it because we're talking about schedules and that's a plus feature, Shopify Plus feature. But if you're having issues with bots, creating customer accounts, creating fake orders, there are some apps that you can use. I did a few videos on that back in the day. And just make sure your HCAPTCHAs, I was about to say reCAPTCHAs, your HCAPTCHAs are in your preferences are always turned on. And HCAPTCHA is just an upgrade of the reCAPTCHA. The symbol is like a little blue hand and it's just for bot protection. You should always have that enabled. March 24th, draft orders automatically are removed after 1 year of inactivity. Draft orders created on or after April 1st, 2025 will be automatically removed after 1 year of inactivity. Draft orders created on or after April 1st, 2025 will be automatically removed after 1 year of inactivity. Automatic removal of inactive draft orders will begin on April 1st, 2026. This ensures a clean and organized order management system displaying only active orders. I'm sure it takes up some data and some memory on Shopify servers and Shopify's end, so they're just cleaning up for you. I don't think anybody would really have a problem with that. If you have an inactive draft order that you made and then forgot about over a year, it'll just be deleted. But we're not talking about from this point forward, looking back 1 year. We're thinking from this point moving this way, created on or after April 1st. So this is April 1st and will begin on April 1st, 2026. All right, guys, just a few left here to end the month. This is a very interesting one. March 25th, customize robots.txt rules by domain. Create domain-specific SEO crawling rules using the request.host object in the robots.txt liquid template, ideal for merchants using multiple domains to target different audiences Shopify markets. Whew! Now, this sort of sounds complicated, and I think specifically to do it, it looks a little bit complicated, but there's a lot of information here. So a robots.txt file has to do with your domain and how a domain is crawled on mainly Google, the search engine result page. Okay. A robots.txt file goes hand in hand with your sitemap in which you submit to Google to crawl and index and then display your pages. Now, if you're using Shopify markets, you're selling to multiple countries. So you may have multiple domains to indicate those different countries, So now Shopify is saying, which is interesting because you can't really edit the sitemap in Shopify very basically. So I haven't seen an update like this in a long time. And it's not something that a beginner really would go in and start editing the liquid code of their sitemap or their robots.txt file. It's just something to talk about, in which I haven't seen an update like this ever before. So it says, if you're using multiple domains to target different audiences in Shopify markets, you can create custom crawling rules for each domain using the request.host object in your robots.txt liquid template. This update gives you more control over how search engines crawl your content across different markets. To implement domain-specific rules, simply use the request.host object in your robots.txt liquid template. As an example, this code snippet would allow crawling of an EN English folder for the example French subdomain, while allowing the folder to remain crawlable for other domains. So this is telling the search engine indexer what they should and shouldn't do, what they should and shouldn't crawl. So for example, it's saying here, the code snippet would disallow crawling of the English folder of pages for the French domain in the French market. It wouldn't really, I suppose, make sense if the search engine was indexing English pages for a French domain. And maybe there are some pages of the French domain that were not indexed. Maybe there were some pages that cannot be indexed. It's important whenever you're submitting your sitemap to actually look at the Google Search Console, and it'll tell you which have 404 errors, which can be found but can't be indexed, and all these sort of different things. But a very interesting update talking about markets and domains, search engine result page, crawling, indexing, and that's how this stuff works. You make a page, you want it discoverable publicly, you need to make sure it's visible, of course, and your website is visible and not behind a password protection page. And then you need the search engine to crawl your website and then index that page, and then it is discoverable on the Google, for example, search engine result page. How fun is that? And then just a couple smaller improvements here to round out the month. POS improvement. March 31st, improved product search in the POS, increasing the speed, accuracy, and flexibility of search performance when searching for products in the POS. Global search will pull intelligent search results even when there are typos, alternative spellings, spacing issues, synonyms. Here's what's new with the search: faster search speed for quicker interactions, improved search performance for larger catalogs, increased typing error tolerance. These improvements to search are more forgiving while delivering more specific and faster results, regardless of the catalog size. Coming to your POS. And then the last little improvement of the month, again on the POS device. Terminal design improvements. We've refined the design of the POS terminal and Android customer view app. I love seeing the improvements coming to these app versions because it always reminds us that there is a POS terminal version, and then there's also a completely separate customer view app and customer view version as well. Nothing crazy there. And just like that, we are done for the beautiful month of April. I hope you all enjoyed. What an interesting month. We have some stuff about robots.txt rules for domains and sitemaps. That's crazy. Draft orders, bot protection. They moved blogs to the content section in the admin. If you didn't know or you didn't see my video about that, don't be alarmed. Your admin is not broken. They just moved it. Sign in with Shop on the customer login page. Remember that the legacy login is being deprecated. Improvements to collective, improvements to flow. Smart collection, that just means an automatic collection. And now there are subcategories for really large catalog stores. And we have some more flow information, some more POS improvements. We have some more Shopify form stuff. But the big bad update of the month, the new AI store setup tool, talking about themes and setting up these things. If you want to see more about this AI store setup tool, subscribe to the channel. I'm definitely going to make a video on that probably next. Partial market management on managed markets. Remember, managed markets is just Markets Pro. They just changed the name. And then we have a new country available with Shopify payments. And using Shopify payments gives you the ability to use Shop Pay and use the Shop app and Shop Pay installments. And it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal. I might make a video on that as well. And of course, Shop is now available in French, German, and Spanish languages. You could already sell in these countries, in France and Germany and in Spain and all these places, but now it's just translating to that. So that's the update video of the month. Like I said, we do this video every month so we can continuously learn about Shopify. This is the best way to learn about Shopify in my opinion. All the improvements, all the new features. Just come together as a Shopify community and understand everything that the Shopify platform, the platform that you run your entire business on, can offer you. This is the best way. So if you like this video, give it a like. And if you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. If you do, I'll see you in the next video.